Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bowling. Welcome to Cashin' In. Our Cashin' In crew this week: Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Honig, Michelle Fields, and Jessica Ehrlich. Welcome, everybody. Putting executive action in action. Sources telling Fox News President Obama is expected to roll out a 10-part plan for overhauling America's immigration policy, and it could happen any minute. What's included? A free ride for those who broke the law and a possible halt to deportations of millions of illegals. Michelle, is it time the president just do this already, torch the Constitution, get it over with?
Well, that's pretty much what he's doing. This is an unconstitutional power grab. The voters made it very clear this election that they're unhappy with the president. And instead of listening to the voters, he is now just going to bypass Congress and give executive amnesty. And let's get this straight. This is not about the interest of the American people as a whole. He wants to do this, and Democrats want to do this because this is about 2016. This is about getting Latino votes. This is not about what's good for the American people.
Wayne, it just amazes me that he said he's going to push this through before the end of the year, before the Republican Senate gets a crack at least trying to reform immigration if they want to.
Well, Eric, I don't think this is so much about whether we voted for it or didn't vote for it. It's the law. The law is what it is. When you start off with a statement that's saying that these people are illegal, you've said somebody's broken the law. Or you might as well say, okay, everybody who drives 100 miles an hour down the road and runs over people, that's illegal. We punish them. Why do we let this off? Why is this an executive order? Why does the president have the right to just subvert the law to his own desire? That I don't understand. So I don't blame the voters. I blame the Congress.
Well, okay, you can blame the Congress, but the voters put the people in who put the president in, who is now, Jessica, bypassing the Constitution, which, by the way, he said he wasn't going to do when he got to be president.
Well, I'm sure that he didn't want to have to do as many executive orders as he's had to try to get things done. But we've seen, the most lame duck Congress we've had since, prior to the Eisenhower administration. They have been unable to get anything done there, whether it's in the House or the Senate. They have a bipartisan bill that passed the Senate. And frankly, I think what the president's looking at is if they don't do something to address what we know is a pressing issue with the number of children that we have here that are at our borders, that are in detention centers, it really is a crisis. Something must be done. That's what he's looking to address. And if we wait until the new Congress comes in, for sure nothing will be done before 2016.
Well, that's not for sure. No, that's not for sure. Hang on. I want to get Jonathan here. Jonathan, that's not for sure. There are a lot of Republicans who want an immigration package, but they want it legally, and they want to secure the border first.
Well, the fundamental idea here, Eric, is the executive orders. I mean, who gives orders? Your boss, a drill sergeant, a czar, an IRS goon? I mean, the whole idea is that the president, to Wayne's point, is willing to use force to get it passed by any means necessary. I mean, it's like he's gone full Gruber. He'll say anything, he'll do anything to get his agenda through. And the irony is that the same president who does this is the one who criticizes businessmen who are just trying to use the law to minimize their taxes. So it's not just immoral policy, it's hypocrisy as well.
And you know what else, Michelle? Jonathan makes a good point. We've been talking about this. If you're pulling the wool over someone's eyes, or you're creating a hoax, it's called Grubering someone. Are we about to get Grubered not only on immigration, we're going to get Grubered on minimum wage, right?
Yeah, no, we definitely are. And look, the thing is what people don't understand is raising the minimum wage, it sounds great in theory. But if you work at McDonald's and now your boss has to pay all of their employees more money, what is the boss going to do? The boss is going to cut jobs. This only hurts the American people. But the president doesn't care. He wants to raise the minimum wage. It's all about votes. That's what all of this is about.
All about votes, or, Jessica, all about the base. All about the base, right? Isn't this what he's doing? He's really appeasing the base.
It's not just the base, it's the base of American people. I mean, this on a state level, these initiatives to raise the minimum wage just passed in Arkansas, in Alaska, in South Dakota, in states where there was the red wave that carried Democrats out and Republicans in, and these ballot initiatives
that doesn't mean they're good things.
Still passed. I mean, that means it's a bipartisan issue. The American people want a higher minimum wage so that they can make a living wage.
Right,
That's the bottom line.
If the people want it,
right, go ahead, John. But Jessica makes a good point.
If the people want it, it has to be persuaded. I mean, I'm an advocate for open immigration, Eric, but whatever the president wants to push through, he needs to push it through persuasion, not through force. Yes. I think that is the fundamental issue here. I mean, the president was sold as a constitutional scholar. I think if you want to appease the base, appease the American public by respecting that same Constitution.
What about separation of powers?
The president has already said that on this issue, he's hoping that this can be one thing where there can be bipartisan support in Congress because it's so popular on a state-by-state level across
but here's
the
the thing. Hold on. I don't want to interrupt you, Jessica. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm going to bring it to Wayne. But, Wayne, we're talking about apples and oranges here. We're talking about the president who wants a $10 minimum wage federally, and he also wants a $15 minimum wage, we hear, for federal employees. So, in other words, the whole country has a minimum wage on the federal level. But then we talk about states doing it on their own. I personally, listen, if you live in a state where the governor thinks $10 is the right wage, then okay, that's better than the federal government telling us what every American has to earn.
Eric, the point is this. Why a $15 minimum wage? Why not a $100 minimum wage? Why not a $1,000? I mean, this is an arbitrary number picked out by somebody who is dictating to you. This is not the free market arriving at some price that says my worth is X, Y, or Z. I'm not negotiating with my boss to say, okay, I dig ditches for $15 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever it may be. This is somebody imposing it. This is law by administration. In other words, the administration is saying this is what it's going to be, and you have to accept it. Nobody has arrived at this. They just did this Deus ex machina out of whole cloth. They have no idea what they're doing.
I think we should be clear here that these executive orders specifically only apply to federal employees. They're not applying to everyone.
Well, but the federal employee is being paid by me, the taxpayer. That's my tax dollar, sweetheart. That's my tax dollar that's going. So
and they're working hard for that money just like everybody else.
Yeah, well, then why shouldn't they bargain for it just like I do or just like you do? You bargain for that price.
And here's the problem, Jessica, and I'm going to bring it to Jonathan. The problem, you can debate what the right minimum wage is, or there should be no minimum wage, which we are on board. We're capitalists here. We say no minimum wage. But maybe there are people who think, Bill O'Reilly thinks a minimum wage is okay. There are people who believe that. However, when you use the executive pen, Jonathan, talk about this. When you say, it's my choice, I'm president, I'm going to do this with or without your vote, Congress, therein lies the problem.
Yeah, Eric, and I think unfortunately we give in the moral high ground when we say that it can be left to the states. The minimum wage should be zero. But to your point, if the president wants to enact anything, whether it's minimum wage, he has to adopt it through persuasion, not through force. That's what these executive orders are. It's bypassing the Congress. It's writing law by executive fiat.
We're going to leave it right there. This is a hot topic. I wish we had more time to talk about this. We got to leave it right there.